everyone, I'm Joey. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the difference between living in a capitalist society versus living in a socialistic society governed by communism. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video. It really helps my channel and it helps other people find this information as well. In the United States, we live in a capitalist society, which is actually a very good thing. Living in a capitalist society means that anyone has the opportunity to become their own boss and start their own business. This business can literally be anything. You can open up a grocery store, an online store, you can start a tour business, you can start a balloon company like I did. Capitalism gives us the opportunity to make as much money as we want, travel whenever we want, and potentially work remotely, living the life that others can only dream of living. I'm not saying capitalism is an absolutely perfect system because there are a lot of flaws, but compared to a lot of other governments around the world, the United States gives its citizens a lot of opportunity to start business and live a free life for the most part. Business owners in the United States still need to abide by the governing laws and pay taxes, but there aren't really any restrictions on starting or growing a business. Capitalism is defined as an economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit rather than by the state. This basically means that citizens have the opportunity to provide value to others and receive payment for that, as opposed to relying on the government for products, services, and jobs. A lot of capitalists get a bad rap for being greedy or selfish, and I'm not saying that that's not true, but capitalists provide value to others. That's how businesses succeed. If a business does not provide value to its customers, it's providing a scam. Think about it. If you pay for something and you don't gain value from that, it's not an equal trade-off, and that business is just taking your money. Socialism, on the other hand, is defined as a political and economic theory of social organization which advocates that the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. It's a good concept in theory because it seems like everyone across the board is going to get an even playing field. But equality is not the same as equity, and here's the difference. If a tree is leaning a certain way and there's two people trying to pick apples from this tree and they both have the same size ladder, the person on the side of the tree in which the tree is growing is going to have more opportunities to pick those apples than the person on the other side of the tree who has the same size ladder but doesn't have the same opportunities as the other person. Equity is giving everybody what they need in order to have the same opportunities. This means that the person on the side of the tree in which the tree is growing away from will need a higher ladder in order to have the same opportunity to pick apples as the person on the side of the tree in which the tree is growing. Justice is fixing the tree so that it's standing straight up so that both people on the sides of the tree have the same opportunity without having to offer them different ladders. So socialism is a good concept in theory to have the production, distribution, and exchange all owned and operated by the entire community, but the problem with that is not everyone has the same work ethic. I'll go into a little bit more of this in just a second. Socialism is a political and economic theory. Communism, although very similar to socialism, is a bit different. Communism is defined as a political theory derived from Karl Marx advocating class war and leading to society in which all property is publicly owned and each person works and is paid according to their abilities and needs. So communism takes socialism where it spreads the wealth evenly and everything is owned by everybody, but communism takes it a step further by advocating that each person should be paid according to their abilities and needs, which again seems fair and like it's an even playing field across the board. The problem with this is that anyone who wants to aspire for more than just a bare minimum can't do that, and society then operates at a low standard of quality politically and economically. Communism has been practiced historically by the former Soviet Union and its allies in Europe, China, Cuba, Vietnam, and North Korea. Historically, we've seen what has happened in these countries that have implemented communism, and it hasn't really worked out for everybody in that country. Why? The mindset behind communism is that the government or state would wither away after the overthrow of the capitalist system. In reality, the government or state ends up controlling everything and its citizens are left with nothing. If a professor at a university starts implementing socialism or communism in their classroom, here's what that would look like. The professor tells the students, work to your best ability and we'll average all of the grades for this semester and that will be everybody's grade. Well, as you can imagine, the grades in the class somewhat look like a bell curve where there's a few slackers who don't study for any of the tests and don't really do anything because they know the rest of the class is going to carry them. The grades of the overachievers on the other side of this bell curve are brought down by the slackers. There's nothing that the these overachievers can do to make their grade what they deserve it should be, which they're striving for straight A's and 100% on every single test. So the first test of the semester goes out, these overachievers should be making 100s, these slackers should be making a failing grade, but the entire class's grades are combined and averaged, and so that brings these slackers' grades up, and that brings the overachievers' grades down, and that makes the slackers really happy and the overachievers not very happy at all. The overachievers realize that there's nothing they can do to make their grade what it deserves to be, and so they stop working as hard, and so the bell curve shifts so the averages start going down. There's no incentive to work harder or be smarter or do better on the tests. So what's the point? At the end of the semester, all of the students have a failing grade because all the overachievers have stopped working as hard and all of the underachievers have not been carrying their weight throughout the semester and they're basically staying the same. There's no incentive for the low achievers to work harder because they're already being carried. And there's no incentive for the overachievers because their grade's gonna be brought down anyway. So at the end of the semester, it's up to the teacher to bail out all of these students who now are failing this class. It's not a perfect example, but that's generally how it's worked historically when communists have tried to overthrow a capitalist system. When I was first hired at my first job at 16, I was stocking shelves at a craft store. I soon realized that I was offering a higher quality work at a more efficient rate than everybody that I was working with, but I was still being paid the same. Because we were all being paid the same, I lowered my quality of work to match those around me so that I wasn't doing any extra work that I didn't have to do. I've seen firsthand how much time is wasted by hourly employees with every hourly job that I've worked. It's my personal belief that people should be paid according to the job that they're providing as opposed to an hourly rate. Employees working for hourly wages reminds me of a communist system. And don't get me wrong, there's high quality workers who work hourly jobs because they don't know any better. But if those high quality employees were to put their effort into building their own company, their intrinsic and monetary reward would be much greater than working for a company that's paying them hourly. So that's why socialism, although good in theory, almost always ends in disrepair. Capitalism is a good thing because we've seen historically what has happened when the government controls every part of a society, whether that's religion, the production of goods, services, jobs, and it's a very good thing that United States citizens have the opportunity to start our own businesses and work as hard as we want to get paid as much as we want and live the life that we want to live, as opposed to having the government telling us what life we should live for ourselves. The laws, rules, taxes, and restrictions that define a capitalist economy are not made by the capitalists, they're made by the government. Obviously, anti-competitive monopolies are illegal for a reason because that's just a small scale of communism where one entity controls a broad market or industry. It also prevents price discrimination and exclusive dealings that can lead to price gouging. But capitalism in itself is an opportunity for you and me to live a better life, whether you look at it that way or not. If you're disgruntled at corporations or capitalists, I highly encourage you to start your own business to fix those things that you're upset about. That's exactly what I did. I was treated poorly and unfairly, and I knew that I could start a competing business where I made more money, where I treated my employees with more respect, giving them more job opportunities and a higher pay rate, and also offering a higher quality service at a lower price rate to customers. By starting my own business, I was creating more opportunity for myself, for the people who worked with me, and also for my customers. I go into that a little bit further in a different video, so go check that out if you're interested. There's one very important thing for you to do no matter what your beliefs are, and that's to like this video. I spend a few hours making these videos almost every single day, and I would really appreciate if you just hit that like button because it really helps the channel and it helps other people find this information as well. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for some more business and personal finance content. If you want to get notified for every video I post, hit that little bell button and you'll get a notification so you don't miss any. Speaking of business and personal finance content, if you want some free stocks, check out the links in my description to the apps Robinhood and WeBull. Even if you don't currently invest in the stock market, it's a great way to build wealth, and with Robinhood and WeBull, which are two investment apps, they really help you get started in an easy way, and they also offer a free stock for you and me just for creating a free account and funding it. Some of the stocks can be worth up to $1,400, so don't miss that opportunity and check out the links below. If you want current, up-to-date information about my investments, my businesses, and everything related to my personal finances, check out my Patreon. I provide insights exactly which stocks I'm trading and selling at certain times, how I'm adapting my businesses to the changing world around us, and how my rental properties are doing and how you can do the same, and how you can save money and grow your wealth in the ways that I'm doing that. Again, that's on my Patreon. The link is in the description below. Thanks for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it, and I wish you the best. I'm Joey. I'll talk to you soon.